I'm just saying this. I'm trying to be Tony Stark, okay? I always want to be Iron Man. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is April L. Butcher, and this is my husband, Brian. And we wanted to come on and talk to you guys about the Vision Pro, okay? As y'all know, Apple released the Vision Pro yesterday in their, what do they call it?
The WWDC, so the developer conference.
Okay, so the developer conference, Brian messaged me and told me, hey, you need to get on this conference, kind of like web conference is the words I'm looking for. And I was like, okay, let me get on, because I thought that we were going to talk about like iPhones and all that type of stuff, because it's time for me to upgrade my iPhone. And I was pleasantly surprised by the Vision Pro. Now, I know it comes at a hefty price tag of $34.99, but we're going to tell you what we thought about it as average everyday consumers, not as techie people here on YouTube, just as average everyday consumers and avid Apple users. So if that interests you, definitely keep on watching, and let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Common Sense on Social. And basically, I just come to give you guys a little common sense commentary when it comes to things happening in the world, in pop culture, and in these internet streets. And what I have, done on this channel is be a consumer advocate and let you guys know what you should buy, what you shouldn't buy. So if that interests you, definitely hit that subscribe button, like this video, and let's get into the caca. So we wanted to come on and talk about the Vision Pro because yesterday Apple's launch was so bonkers. There was so much new technology coming out of Apple that my head was literally spinning. Okay, spinning so much that I didn't even create a video for yesterday. Okay, so I wanted to come on and talk about the Vision Pro on this channel. And as most of you know, I have a second channel that I'm building currently right now on YouTube. And I want to discuss more about the applications that's coming out with Apple that I'm going to be using on a day-to-day basis. Like they're going to be coming out with a journal. Like basically this is the sickest thing. They're coming out with a journal that is going to be on your phone and you could journal every day, which I'm so excited about. You could put pictures in your journal, and based off of the pictures that you put in the journal for the day, it's going to create prompts. So for those of you that don't know what prompts are, basically with prompts, a AI generated like paragraph just to start you off. Because a lot of times when you have writer's block or you're not used to journaling, sometimes you need that little push, right? A little push to then start writing freely. So for me, I'm excited about that, and I'm going to talk about everything else that Apple has coming out in their ecosystem, as Marquise Brownlee says it, so that way you guys know what you should use and what you should invest your time into and what I'm going to be investing my time into. So if that interests you, definitely look in the description box down below, or I'll put a card up here, and you could go ahead on and subscribe to that channel over there. And that video will already be up for you to watch, okay? So Brian, tell me your first impressions of the Vision Pro.
Well, for me, there's nothing like it, first of all. So to try to sit here and compare it to something, that would be really hard to do. But I did think it was very ingenious. It was very eye-catching. You can't just look at it and say, oh, that's just another thing by Apple. I can just go past it. It definitely catches your attention and it makes you want to try it out and see it and experience it. It's nothing like it. I've played with Oculus in the past and some of the other VR setups that have come out, but this is a game changer.
Okay. So tell me this, like when I was sitting down watching it, right? So for all of you that are out there, I've never actually had the opportunity to sit down undisturbed at one of these conferences. This happens on a yearly basis, okay? And majority of the time I'm at work and I have to jump in and jump out like Brian was yesterday. Brian had to jump in, jump out to some of the things. And I'm texting him all the updates and all the things that are to come. And this is the first time I got to sit down, and what a time to be able to sit down and actually immersify yourself into what all they were unveiling, right? People have to understand that there are a lot of young people that weren't there at the beginning of, the computer age, at the beginning of having gateway computers dropped off at your doorstep with a cow box, and how exciting that was. And that's what I correlate this, invention of technology to, this revolution of technology to. I remember being a young girl and getting a gateway box at my front door. Gateway used to have that little music on when they would have you on hold, and hearing that little music, and then getting your computer at the front door and it being a cow box, like the branding. I think that's probably where I first fell in love with branding, because I thought with marketing and branding that Gateway was such ahead of their time. Like we know Apple had like the Apple, and all the different color computers that they came out with at some point. But to me, to just open up a box, there's the computer, and it be in this beautiful box, I thought was just absolutely amazing, right? And
Cutting
then
edge for its time.
exactly. And then the other thing is I then went on to work at Gateway for a year and absolutely loved selling computers to people and explaining things to people. So a lot of times people on YouTube see me doing what I'm doing and they think like I just learned how to do this. I've been in computer technology since, God, how old was I? Probably 20 or 21 or 19 or something like that, working for Gateway.
Young in the game.
Yeah, so I loved it. So that's what I felt on yesterday when they dropped that, because I had never seen anything like this before. I have an Oculus, but I was not prepared for that type of technology.
Yeah. I think one of the beautiful things about the whole setup that Apple had was everybody's used to hearing the announcements around August, September of the new devices. And what Apple did, and what they always do with a developer conference, it gives you the future of where the software is going. It lets you know how the software will operate on whatever new hardware they have coming out, and some of the best ways to develop apps and programs. So when you sat back and you watched the Vision Pro, you said to yourself, okay, wait a minute, there's nothing like it out there. So where could they possibly take this technology? And I think that's where it got everyone really wrapped in and captivated, because it's like it's limitless on what it could do.
Exactly. It's nothing like it. When they first started to unveil it, and I first took a look at it, and the eyes on the outside with the screen, and then when I find out that that's not really your eyes, that's actually a, what do they call it? OLED screen?
OLED screen, reverse, kind of facing the opposite
Oh my
direction.
gosh. I was like salivating. Like I told Brian, when Brian said, how much does it cost? I said, oh, trust me, honey. It's going to have a price tag on it, okay? Because just with the screen and it being able to mimic your eyes to where people feel like they're looking and talking at you and you're attentive to them is just amazing. When they first opened up and they showed that you can be with this device on and still be able to see your living room or your bedroom, your office, wherever you're working at, and be able to have a full computer. That's what I want people to understand. This is not an Oculus, okay? This is a computer for your face. This isn't a cell phone just for you to call. This isn't something you just sit around and play mindless games with. This is a computer. This is an operating system in this device. So as I'm watching them unveil this, and they're showing how you don't need any, controls or anything.
Keyboards,
you do everything
mouse,
with your hand.
Controllers.
I said, oh my gosh. my spidey senses started tingling. And I was like, where's my web? Because I just got to grab this. Okay.
All right, Miles Morales.
Okay. I was just shocked and shook. And then when they say you can watch movies and it's more of a 3D feel, I instantly started thinking like, ooh, I can't wait to get my hands on this because I could just watch The Little Mermaid. And I bet you it's probably like water. You know, it feels like the water splashing on you. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the ride Soaring.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it reminds me of. It reminds me that when you're going to watch these movies, it's going to be very much like Soaring. If you have ever rode that ride at Disney, that's the feel you're going to get using this device. Okay?
Yeah.
And so for me, I feel like, oh, I can't wait. You know, just saying in my head, oh, I could just imagine The Little Mermaid and all these different movies. And then to see Bob Iger from Disney come across that screen and said that they partnering with Apple.
Absolutely.
I said, shut it down.
You know,
Shut it down.
one thing about Apple and a lot of people who are fanboys of Android and Google and Samsung and everything, and not to knock those different operating systems and phones and companies, but Apple is always slow to come to the market with product, but they perfect it when they come. So they take and they look and see how Google had the Google Glass, and they looked at how, you know, Meta and Oculus came out with their version of a VR helmet. And then even Samsung, you remember the early edition I had where I was connected to my phone?
Yep.
Even then, Samsung was trying to do it way before iPhone did it, but it was a very watered down version. So they took all those elements and they said, okay, one of the things that was cool about Google Glass, it was like a regular pair of glasses. It was augmented reality. So it was able to bring your phone and different things to the screen so you could see out of it, but it took only one part of the screen, the right eye, had the actual technology in it. So you could see with this eye, and this eye was more of your photos and things like that and text messages. And then you knew Oculus, you had to fully immerse yourself. You had to be in a controller. You had to make sure you didn't, you know, go out of the boundaries of where the setup was. So Apple just took all of those elements and really perfected it, I feel like, with this product.
You said a really good point. The fact that this is a device that I don't have to sit in a little box. Because with Oculus, it does give you like this outline that you have to sit within, right? You could walk all over your house with this thing. This is a computer. I can send whatever images from my operating system, my Mac desktop, and actually connect my keyboard to this device, to the Vision Pro, and start typing and using. What I want y'all to understand is we're not a techie channel in the sense of I'm not like Marquise. I can't come up here spitting out all the specs and the RAMs and all the good things, okay? This is a take on this launch from two people that just like tech, that are just consumers.
And that's going to give you the common sense part of it, because the average person probably won't be into how many million, nits it can go, or the megabytes.
23 million pixels.
Yeah, those type of things. And I mean, you probably couldn't tell what one pixel looked like. But the practical information that we're giving you is that Apple has found a way to remove the barriers or the boundaries that you had with their technology before. So like I was speaking with April, I told you about how you can have your iPhone, and those are for like quick notes and quick things that you want to do. And then they always told you, well, okay, this is a part of the ecosystem, so it copies over to your iPad. So now when you need a larger screen, in theoretics, if you have a larger iPad, you can pick up where you left off and you can continue to do more immersive notes and things like that. And then when you really wanted to get work done, that information would then move over to your Mac or your laptop or your desktop, and you can really get some work done. So now this takes all three of those, and now it takes it to another level, because now you can actually feel like you're a part of the content that you're viewing or that you're making or that you're creating. And it gives you just another aspect of it. It all works together. One can't replace the other one. They all feed off each other in a way to where it's better for the user, I think.
I think also with Oculus, it came across as very gamey.
Yeah. That's where they
very
tried to hit
childish.
first. Yeah, that's where they
Where
went first
this
with
is
it.
grown up. This is some next level Tony Stark.
Yeah.
You ever want to be Tony Stark, baby, and sit up there and build Ultron?
Yes.
Okay, honey, you could build Ultron in the Vision Pro. Okay, just coming to tell you, I'm gonna be very much Tony Stark, and I did say I because I do plan on getting this. We plan on getting this together, going half on a Pro. Okay. Going half on a Vision Pro, okay? It ain't gonna be no Christmas. It ain't gonna be no anniversary, Valentine's Day. No,
It will.
no. I want this. Like, now the battery life ain't that great. I'm gonna tell you straight up. The battery life is not that good. It's 2 hours, but they said if you're sitting at a desk or you're sitting at a sofa, then you should be able to plug it into the wall and be able to use it that way. But 2 hours walking around, and I think that is a reasonable amount of time because you should be walking with that around the house more than 2 hours.
Well, I think it's ingenious just because of the fact of even, and you can remember this, back when we had the Nintendo Wii or even my Xbox, the virtual, the little camera, it tells you need to take a break after a period of time because you have natural eye strain and the things that your eyes are going to be doing because your eyes are controlling all the features and functions of the Vision Pro. At some point, you got to give yourself a break to take it off, detach for a little bit, maybe get you a drink of water, eat, look at something else, and then come back to it. But that's just with anything. You don't want to do anything for too long or even sitting in one place for too long when you're doing work. So I think that's fair because that's a good indication of, what? Once it's dying, you could literally give yourself a mental check and say, hey, I've been here for 2 hours doing this. Let me go find something else to get back into and come back to this while it's charging. So I think
agree.
that's healthy.
It's no different. You know what this remind me of too? The movie Avatar. Because remember how you used to be able to we used to be able to y'all know what I mean. But you remember how in the movie they would be in this device and you remember at one point you saw the guy's eyes going back and forth.
He kept twitching.
Yeah,
rapid
twitching
eye
back
movement.
and forth. Yeah, exactly. From being in this avatar. So it's pretty much the same thing. And I thought that it was very eye-opening, no pun intended, that Apple is now developing software to help people with their eyes and not being in front of a screen too long. And also kids putting the iPads close to their eyes. They actually have new technology coming out that it's going to alert the parent when the iPad is too close and also alert the child that's using it that the iPad is too close to their eyes. And then they even did research finding out that if a child is not outside that much, I forgot how to, I have it in my notes. It's going to be on the other channel, what it's called. But basically, they were saying studies have shown that a child not being able to play outside at a young age actually stunts the development of their eyes. And I don't know if you guys remember me discussing this on my channel, but I told you guys a couple months ago, I think, that Madison had to get glasses and it came out of nowhere. It was 1 year, her vision was perfectly fine. And by the next year, her vision was crap. And then I was like, how did this happen? So when Apple is standing up there and saying, oh, is this, and kids aren't playing outside. I told Brian, I said, I guess we're going to be going outside and getting some sun because we got to get outside. It's not the fact that she sits in front of a laptop or a computer all day, every day. But we have to remember that was a period of time during COVID that kids were at home on their Chromebooks all day, every day being taught by teachers. So at the end of the day, they weren't outside really playing for a minute. So we have to be cognizant of that. And I think, not just creating new technology and selling it to people and not creating solutions. I think kudos to them for thinking ahead of that and getting ahead of that snowball, because people will be like, oh, well, it's hurting our eyes and this is a detriment to people's eyes and whatever else they would come up with.
Well, I think if those of you who are watching and you're fans of Apple, Apple has found a way to segment their brand. So you have, and it started way back even with the iPhone 11. You had the 11, then you had the 11 Plus, then you had the 11 Pro, then you have the third, like even with now, you have the 14, you have the 14 Plus, you have the 14 Pro, and you have the 14 Pro Max. When you go to the Pro and the Pro Max, it's more for that professional who's using their device more than just making phone calls. You want to get into some photography. You want to get into some editing. So this product is not going to be for everyone.
No.
So when you look at it and it's called the Vision Pro, this is going to be the high end of this technology, but why not start off with everything you think you could put into it and have it evolve? Now, we're thinking maybe at some point there will probably be some cheaper models that don't have as much features, but Pro always stands for like the professional, the top of the line product that Apple puts out there with all the bells and whistles.
I'll give you the angle.
And I think all of that I think the way that they're launching this right now is the best way. Give people the really good stuff first, have everybody salivating over it, and then allow people to get the like the entry level version.
Yeah.
In order to feel like they're a part of the ecosystem, right? Now, I will tell you this, who is it not for, right? We talked about we getting it, but we're getting it because we have a Mac desktop. I have a Mac laptop. I have another Mac desktop in the back room. I have another laptop that's a Mac. I have and that other laptop that's a Mac, I only use it to edit in Final Cut Pro because I refuse to pay for Final Cut Pro on another laptop. So I only use it for that purpose. Then we have 2 iPads, 3 iPhones. So we're part of the ecosystem and Apple Watches. So so we're a part of the ecosystem already. If you have not owned anything Apple, meaning a MacBook or a desktop Mac, this is not for you. I don't give a dog if you have an iPhone. This is not for you. This is for people that are well equipped and well immersed into this ecosystem. You know, some people call it, what they call it, a wall? A garden wall? It's for people like that have been in this ecosystem of Mac and Apple for years. For us, it's going to be pick it up, use it, go. All we got to learn is how to make our fingers do the walking and the talking. As far as the eyes, you just look at the apps. They say you'll just look at the apps and the apps will open up to what you want it to open up to. So at the end of the day, this isn't something for you to just buy and sit around and watch movies. Like, it's not for that. It's a computer. And I would hope, I don't know what the memory that's going to be in that Joker. I would hope it would be at least 1 terabyte for $34.99. It better at least be 1 terabyte.
In my heart of hearts, I think by the time it comes out, which is also very clever on what Apple's doing.
Yeah, it is.
You tease it now and you give people a little over a year to prepare. Half a year, 6 months, 7 months to get ready. So you can start saving, you can start doing what you need to do.
Getting Apple credit.
Doing what you got to do to get it. But I'm thinking that it will have a certain amount of onboard memory just to run it. And then everything else will be in some form of a cloud. I think they're going to utilize the cloud a lot more because the only way... They better
go up on the cloud because they only have 2 terabytes at this point.
Yeah, but the only way I think that you'd be able to have something respond and move as fast as it's doing is it not having to go through a drive. Because anything that has to run through some sort of hard drive, it's going to take some time. It'll heat up. It'll do different things to process. But if you have it being seamlessly uploaded and downloaded through a cloud, there's no need for it to actually have to sit and buffer or process. It can go live time and go out as fast as it comes in. And I think it's going to be something similar to that because the way how everyone described on how responsive it was and how immersive it was, you would have to have a ton of space for memory, which will then take up a lot of space in the headset, which would make it heavy, which would make it cumbersome. And they have 2 different chips in there that one is going to be for processing and the other one is going to be for rendering and things like that. So I don't believe that it would be a problem with the memory because they know people are going to put a lot on it. But remember, it works as a part of an ecosystem. So whatever memory you have on your Mac, you'll be able to access it on this. Whatever memory you have on your iPad or data information, you'll be able to access it on there too. So somehow it's going to all feed together.
I'm just saying this. I'm trying to be Tony Stark. Okay? I always want to be Iron Man. What's the other one? War Machine.
Yeah.
This is literally what it is. You know how like Iron Man, when he in the suit and he could see all the things moving, all the little technology. This is Iron Man, okay? We are literally going to be walking around looking like Iron Man.
And I feel like when they did the keynote, one of the things they talked about, and they kept saying it, and most people who you see on YouTube review it are saying similar things like it felt like magic, or it felt like the closest thing they ever had to magic. And the hand gestures that they were using, like, you know, being able to pinch with their finger and moving things, that's just like how Tony Stark did. If you can remember in the movie, his computer was like a hologram, and he was able to move things and expand it. So it's giving you that next step to the technology of where things are going to go.
I said I'm an Avenger.
And it's just beautiful to know that a company is willing to do this. And I, like you said, the part about the technology for the eyes and wanting to help people with the eyes, and the fact that, you know, they've already thought about those who wear glasses. You don't have to wear your glasses and then put this helmet over it. They actually have an ability to get a prescription lens that you could put in there, and you can just go without your glasses for once. Someone like me could actually go without my glasses and use this device, which I think is ingenious, because right now with the Oculus, I have to throw the Oculus on over my glasses to be able to see,
right?
You know, crisp of what I'm trying to do. So I think that's ingenious.
I think it is too. I think just being able to, the amount of cameras that are on board.
Oh yeah, it's just crazy.
It's just ridiculous. And to be able to look at a person, and the cameras inside of the Vision Pro will be able to like basically mimic your eyes on the outside. From
that's crazy to me.
Blinking, looking, your eyes, even if they roll, it's going to be able to do all of that. That is absolutely bonkers to me.
Now imagine this, guys. When you sit there and you see multiple people in a room using an Oculus, you get a black front and you just know this person is inside of this Oculus doing their thing. But when you get the chance to see somebody looking at something, and you can see something that looks a lot like their eyes, blinking in natural time and everything, you forget for a moment that this person has this on. You become part of that experience because you're like, wow, I could actually see their eyes. So it's just the little things that Apple thought about that's going to set this apart, that's going to make it something, like we said, that's going to be for some. It's not going to be for all. It'll be for some. And then I truly believe, because in true Apple fashion, they're going to always come out with maybe a possible another model that's going to be more affordable without all the things. So let's say, for instance, if they wanted to go and say, we want to make it to where students could do their schoolwork on these things and have their whole year's worth of books or whatever on this device. I could see it for use in schools. You can use it in surgery rooms with doctors. When it comes to training doctors on how to do surgeries, they can do practice by seeing it virtually inside there. So it's going to be a lot of uses for it down the road, and it's going to be something that is going to become a norm to us right now.
Because we have a lot of robots in surgery. And like they have like these really expensive robots that they use inside or for certain cases. I know when I used to work at MD Anderson, they had robots that would tell us exactly where to put the screws in for spinal surgeries on patients. And them patients would be able to get up and walk the next day after having massive spinal surgery. Just because you have a robot that came in and told them exactly where to place those screws. And when you would x-ray it, it would be perfectly aligned, each screw perfectly aligned. So to me, this is really amazing. And it was something else I wanted to tell you about the device, but it slipped my mind because I wanted to let him finish his statement or whatever.
Was it the surprise that you were going to buy me one and I don't have to worry about it? That's the surprise? Okay. Guess not.
No, that's not it.
Oh, okay.
What I was trying to say is, what I thought about was I was about to say. And I guess this will be your gift to me for Valentine's Day if it comes out in spring next year. If you notice, let me tell you something. Mark my words. Y'all know I be predicting stuff up in here, okay? Mark my words. All of those cameras going around Beyonce at the Renaissance tour, do not be surprised if Beyonce has not made a deal with Apple to make that Renaissance tour available in that doggone device. Do not be surprised. There are tons of cameras, because I know it was going to be recorded anyway. By the time the Renaissance tour is going to be done, it's going to be just in time for this to come out. Do not be surprised if the Renaissance tour will be exclusively released first via Vision Pro.
And then
Do not be surprised.
And I remember when I was listening to the developer conference, even before it actually came out, they were talking about where Apple was trying to go with the technology. And one of the things they were saying is that imagine being able to go to your favorite sporting event or concert without actually being there. So you would purchase a ticket, and just like how you can go to, like, say if we wanted to go to Allegiant Stadium and purchase a ticket, you can go to their website and there would be a 3D render of where your seat is and how it would look if you were watching the concert from that seat, and you would get a perspective to know if that's the ticket you wanted to buy. I wouldn't be shocked if, like you're saying, they do that and you pay $10, $20, and now you could say, I want to sit front row, center, and you are sitting there.
It's gonna be like pay-per-view, $79.
But
$79.99.
Imagine
Mark
sitting
my
there,
words.
But imagine sitting there and you get the perspective as if you were there, because you're fully immersed in it, so it's all around you. That's crazy.
Because think about it, they have all these cameras on stage. I saw when Blue Ivy was up there dancing and doing her thing. Shout out to Blue Ivy. Blue Ivy was up there doing her thing, shucking and jiving. And they had them cameras going around them. And I said, that shows a lot of cameras up close and personal. And if you really think about the set, how that set goes from one end of the stadium to the other end of the stadium with this huge, situation of Beyonce up on the kiosk, laying straight across, because they have her laying straight across this way. And the way it's set down in different layers, I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if Apple them is not out there filming that, getting that together and getting it all nice and straight, because they're going to release that on that Vision Pro. I can very well see that happening. So don't be surprised, y'all. Y'all know I'll be seeing things.
You heard it here first.
Before anybody else do.
You heard it here first.
Okay? Renaissance tour on the Vision Pro. Okay? Get ready for it. With that being said, y'all comment down below. Y'all tell me if y'all gonna get this. I know most people gonna be like, I'm not getting that. I'm not giving my money to Apple. Okay, girl, you don't gotta give your money to Apple.
You don't have to give your money to Apple, but when we get ours,
we still get ours,
we're gonna talk
girl.
about
I
it
don't
enough
care.
to where you're gonna end up wanting it. Because if you think about it,
I don't care.
You spend money on so many different things that you don't even necessarily use, and we haven't even touched all the things that the Vision Pro does, because if we we'd have had to given you the 2-hour version of the whole thing that we watched. But just imagine you being able to have your MacBook, like April uses her MacBook on the couch, and she's doing something and she decides that she wants to get up from where she is and continue working. Once she looks at that screen on the Vision Pro, the ecosystem knows to bring into session everything that she has on her Mac screen. So now she can interact with it in real time, moving around the house. It's like that quick. You can look at your iPad and bring your iPad into focus into that Vision Pro and start doing things. So you got to realize that it's not just a computer on your face. It's truly a way to be more efficient at what you're doing, get things done faster, more efficiently. And we always say, time is money. So this is a way to spend money to give you back some time to do the things that you want to do anyway.
Even if you're going to school and you're taking courses, I could be walking around the house, folding clothes, going to the washing machine, fixing dinner, fixing lunch, going clean my room, while I have this device on and still being able to sit down and take courses.
Multitasking.
We're not
at its
here to
finest.
convince anybody to buy anything. We're just telling you our experiences and what is making us want to purchase this device and why we are going to purchase this device because it's worth it. $3,400, like most people are blowing that on bags.
Yeah, but just think about it. When Apple was the first to the market to come out with the iPhone, for you to have a phone that you can touch and have apps and all this other stuff, we was all rocking StarTACs, flip phones, things like that. If you would have told somebody back then that the
phone.
Yeah, the phones would have evolved to something with a color screen and a camera, and you can have apps and widgets and all that, people would tell you were crazy. And if you remember, the first price for the first iPhone was hundreds upon hundreds of dollars more than the average cell phone at the time, because you could have got a StarTAC for a little over $100 and something dollars. That iPhone first came out $399, $499. It was exclusive only to AT&T. So you had to have AT&T service. Now I'm taking you way back. If you know anything about iPhone, it was on AT&T first. No other cell phone carrier had it. So imagine the cutting edge technology back then. Not a lot of people embraced it when the first iPhone came out. By the time the second and third one came out, more people had it. And now we live in a world where you see a person with a green bubble send you a message. You like, I don't do green bubbles. You better get an iPhone. Because you said that to me. I was a Samsung guy. I should tell you, I had the Note phones. I had the Note phone even when it was blowing up and they didn't want to put it on airplanes because they were saying it was catching on fire. Then right after that, I started getting an iPhone, and then I never really looked back. So it's something that's going to be, not for everyone, but I do feel like keep your mind open to the technology because it's here for a reason.
Yeah, it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, there's a reason why they've gone to 5G.
If you think you not buying one is going to stop stop Apple's train, you got life mixed up.
Yeah.
It ain't stopping Jack. I actually watched a YouTuber, which I'm gonna talk about this in another video. I actually watched a YouTuber on TikTok have some Balenciaga boots sitting in her closet, and she waiting for the cancel Balenciaga train to stop. And this is a black influencer. She's waiting for the cancel Balenciaga train to stop so she could pull out her boots. So at the end of the day, people still gonna buy stuff.
Exactly.
People still gonna wear stuff. I'm pretty sure she's wearing it and just not taking pictures in it for Instagram because she got these boots and she said it was going to be her summer boots. And my jaw dropped. I literally was going to air her out on YouTube because I was like, these influencers be out of control. But at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do. And my job here on this channel is just to have y'all be informed consumers. That's the main goal of this channel. Any Kardashian content I do, it's mainly to teach you guys the facts and teach you why you should be an informed consumer, okay? And this is just informing you on, this is an operating system, an actual computer. This is not just some gaming system. If your kids coming to you and asking you to buy it, no, because this is not something you just buy them and let them go aimlessly and mindlessly in their rooms and play with it. This Vision Pro, is for adults, in my opinion. This is not for no kid to just be running around and gaming. Now, if your kid is a professional gamer, they bringing in thousands of dollars, then yes, this may be feasible for them. But if it's just little Tommy, Madison, cousin, Pookie, whoever, whatever, no, they don't need that, okay? They don't need it. This is for professionals, people that work in architecture. They could be walking around the offices and doing things. People that are in tech that need to get things done, but yet still multitask all at the same time. I think that this is a wonderful, wonderful invention and new technology. This is revolutionary. And I've not seen, people say, I've not seen anything like this since the iPhone. I've not seen anything like this since Gateway computers. And not just in the sense of technology, because Gateway computers was just regular computers, PCs, but in the sense of marketing, in the sense of launching, in the sense of branding, I am head over heels for this device.
Stay tuned to this channel because as more information about it comes out, we'll be sure to try to bring it up and talk about it and highlight the high points. And who knows, you guys may get the chance to take the journey with us when we actually make this purchase. We'll go through the steps on how we're going to get it, when we unbox it, all that good stuff. So stick with us. Stay tuned.
Subscribe.
Listen. Yeah, watch it. And take this journey with us because I truly believe it's going to be a game changer. And I'm sure April's going to show you guys all the benefits of it and the ways how she utilizes it. And then I think it'll change a lot of people's mind because it's really something that I think is going to be beneficial to society as a whole. You're going to have those people that's going to say, oh, it's an invasion of privacy. Oh, you're going to have your eyes, it's cameras. They can get your eyes. They're going to take pictures. They're going to
do that regardless, child.
Let me tell you something. Every time you go to the bank and you go to the ATM, they got your image. They got your whole face. They got your eyes. They got everything. A lot of times when things happen and there's robberies and you go running past an ATM and you thinking there's no cameras there, they utilize that camera to finger you out.
That's Cash App or whatever his name was.
Oh, the guy
in San Francisco.
Yeah.
San Francisco. Yeah. And
So just know
even
that.
with the Regal app, like just signing up for the Regal app. If you guys don't know, Regal movie theater, they have a Regal Unlimited app where you can sign up $21.99 a month and you get unlimited movies for the month. And so I signed up for it today because I'm going to be taking Madison and her friends to go see The Little Mermaid again on Thursday for the third time.
Third time, y'all.
Yes, we love The Little Mermaid over here. And in order to be in the Regal app, they needed my photo. They needed my photo to make sure I'm the person who's actually going to be using the movie. So you could think you stopping something. You could think like, oh, they're going to have your eyes. Oh, okay, girl, whatever. At the end of the day, it is what it is. It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
All right, Thanos.
Okay? I'll be up over here snapping fingers and making things move, just like Tony Stark. Okay? With that being said, you guys, comment down below. I'm going to leave another video up here for you guys to watch on this channel if it's something else you want to watch. And remember to subscribe to my other channel because the video will be up to show you guys about all the other bells and whistles that's coming from Apple, not just this device, but other things that you guys need to better your lives and better your workflow. Okay? Y'all have a blessed day. And we'll see you later in the next video.
Thank you. Bye.